You are listening to the William Gomes Podcast. I am William Gomes and I am grateful to have you here. Today I want to talk about a topic that is often difficult for families to voice and even harder for professionals to acknowledge. It is the reality that for many autistic children, school can be an overwhelming, exhausting, and sometimes traumatic place. Not because teachers are uncaring or because the child lacks resilience, but because the environment itself asks too much of a nervous system that is already working incredibly hard just to get through the day. When we think about school, we often imagine a place of learning, growth, and community. But for many autistic children, school is a place filled with constant sensory demands, unpredictable transitions, and a fast pace that leaves little room to breathe. From the moment a child arrives, they step into a world that rarely slows down. The corridors are busy, the classrooms are loud, the rules are many, and the social expectations feel endless. A child who is already managing sensory intensity, masking, and the pressure to keep up may reach their limit long before lunchtime. What makes this particularly challenging is that the signs of distress are not always visible. Many autistic children work incredibly hard to stay calm, to follow the rules, and to avoid drawing attention to themselves. They mask, they hold in their emotions, they copy what others do, they try to blend in, and because the child seems quiet or compliant, adults may assume they are fine. But inside, the child may be in a state of fatigue, confusion, or sensory overload. The effort of coping builds throughout the day. A child may sit still on the carpet because they know they are expected to. They may hold back tears because crying feels unsafe. They may walk to the lunch hall, even though the smells and sounds feel overwhelming. They may keep their hand down even when they do not understand the lesson. Every moment of effort adds another layer of strain to their system. And when there is no break, no place to release the tension, the child reaches a point where their body or emotions can no longer hold steady. For many children, this breaking point does not happen at school. It happens the moment they walk through the front door at home. The tears, the refusals, the silence, the meltdown, or the shutdown are not bad behavior. They are the release of everything the child had to suppress to survive the day. Home becomes the only safe place to fall apart. Parents often see the distress first, and this can lead to painful misunderstandings when professionals believe the child is coping well. It is important to name this for what it is. When a child repeatedly faces environments that overwhelm their sensory system, invalidate their experiences, or push them beyond what their nervous system can manage, the result can be trauma. Not trauma in the dramatic sense we often imagine, but quiet trauma, the kind that comes from feeling unsafe, unheard, or overstretched every single day, the kind that teaches a child that their instincts are wrong, that their sensory distress is exaggeration, or that their best is never quite good enough. This is not about blame, it is about awareness. Many teachers work tirelessly and want the best for their pupils, but the structure of school itself, with its large class sizes, rigid routines, and high demands, often leaves little room for the individual needs of autistic children. And when the system does not adapt, the child pays the price. So what can help? The first step is recognition. When adults understand the toll that school can take on an autistic child, compassion naturally grows. We begin to look at behavior differently. Instead of asking why a child is refusing, we ask what they are protecting themselves from. Instead of assuming a child is fine because they are quiet, we look for subtle signs of stress. Instead of pushing for attendance at all costs, we consider whether the environment is actually accessible. The next step is adjustment. Small changes can transform a child's school experience. A calm space to retreat to, flexibility in the timetable, reduced sensory demands, predictable routines, gentle transitions, someone who checks in quietly without pressure, permission to move, stim, or use sensory tools, a safe adult who understands the child without judgment. And perhaps the most important step is belief. When a child says they are overwhelmed, we believe them. When a child says something feels too loud or too uncomfortable, we take it seriously. When a child is struggling, we see that struggle with empathy rather than discipline. The moment a child feels believed is often the moment they begin to rebuild trust. Some children may still need long periods of recovery at home. Others may need alternative provision or a different school setting. There is no single path that fits every child, but what every child needs is a sense of safety, respect, and understanding. They need adults who see their distress as communication rather than defiance, and who recognize that a child's refusal is often a sign that the environment needs to change, not the child. When we listen closely to autistic children, they show us what they need to thrive. They show us the moments that overwhelm them, the spaces that calm them, the people who help them feel understood, and the pace that allows them to learn without fear. When we shape environments around their needs, rather than forcing them to bend to ours, we create conditions where their strengths, curiosity, and joy can come forward again. In the end, this is not just about school. It is about dignity. It is about giving autistic children the same right to feel safe, respected, and supported as any other child. When we make the effort to understand their experiences, we take a meaningful step toward a more compassionate and inclusive world. Thank you for listening. This is the William Gomes Podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I will speak with you again soon.